What do biohackers, grinders, and cyborgs all have in common? Well, these are terms used to describe anyone who wants to add technology and implants in their body to gain a new sense or maybe a new ability. Joining me here on the show today is one of the most fascinating cyborgs on Earth. She has over 26 implants, and she doesn't just use them for her day-to-day life. These implants play a really important role in her work. I'd like to welcome cyborg magician Anastasia Synn to the Kim Komando Show. And thanks so much for joining us, but I have to start at the very beginning. You know, when did you decide that this was something that you would want to do? And what kind of implants were they?
Well, thank you for having me, Kim. It's a pleasure to meet you. I have a daughter, and she saw a girl on YouTube, I guess, who was unlocking her computer using her microchip in her hand. And she said, "Mom, I want one, I want one." And I said, I want one. You're too young. Let me get one first. And let me see if it's okay. And then if you want it, then you can have it. And it started with that. And then I went on to 2 finger magnets, and it kind of exploded from there. I only got my first implants 3 years ago, and now I'm up to 26. And by the end of the month, hopefully, I should be up to 36.
Wow. So all this only started 2 years ago?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Or 3 years ago, sorry. It just started with my daughter, yeah.
What's the craziest one that you have where you sit back and you go, wow, that one's really out there?
I can show it to you. It's this big hockey puck looking thing in my arm here, and it is the world's largest magnet implant. And with it, I can do all kinds of great things. Like when I show you both sides of my arm, you can't see it. It's in what I call a sweet spot. So as a magician, I can use this to steal pretty much anything out of your hand, and you don't even know it's happening because I'm keeping you busy with my hands and my arms doing all the work. So that one's probably my favorite. And the scariest one that I'm getting is probably the Y-thigh computer, which is about the size of a deck of cigarettes, and it's going on the top of my thigh. And it'll actually serve as a Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth reader. And it's kind of a proof of concept for magicians. If I take a deck of cards and I put a bunch of RFID NFC tags in all of them, and you close my eyes and I wave the card over my leg, the NFC reader will read that, and it will transmit it to my phone via Wi-Fi, which will transmit it to my hairpiece via Bluetooth. And that vibrates a magnet inside my ear, so I can actually hear in real time Queen of Hearts as I wipe it over my leg, or anything.
Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. That is really something.
Like someone could have a box in another room and put anything in there. And as long as I have a reader in that, I could hear it in my ear because I have it connected to my phone. So it really is great for secret hearing stuff. And that comes in handy for magic in many ways. The ones on my hands that I use to manipulate coins. So these coins here, I can pretty much hold quite a few in my hand.
Wow.
Let's just show you all my magnets, shall we?
That's crazy.
I know. So originally I got this one because I did a trick where I made a fake finger and I could unscrew it and show you the lights inside and then screw it back on and then heal it. The finger is way too heavy and it keeps hanging. It doesn't look natural, so we're not using that one right now. I'll probably have to pull this little magnet out and put a new one in. I've had that happen a couple times where I put magnets in, they're not strong enough for what I want, so I just cut them out again and put a different one in. It's not that big a deal to me.
Okay, and so you just said like you just take one out and you put one in, and okay, are you doing these yourself?
I was until I met my surgeon, and he's far more skilled than I am. I can't tell you how difficult it is to do self-surgery on your own fingertip. You need 2 hands to do surgery, so it's almost, I didn't really put a lot of thought into trying to install this magnet on my own, but I did, and it went pretty well. I used a tourniquet. You only have a short amount of time if you're using a tourniquet. I followed all the YouTube University. I did all my studies. I did a finger block, learned how to do a lidocaine finger block on YouTube. You can pretty much learn anything on YouTube. I have friends that are learning genetic engineering on YouTube. So, yeah, I did them myself for a while. Now my friend, he has an operating room in California in his house, and I just go over there, and he's the one who put this big guy in, and he put my ear in, and pretty much anything I ask him for, he'll give me because he trusts my judgment.
Wow, that is really something. So a rumor has it that you have something to do with your cat. You can make your cat talk with one of your implants. What's that about?
Well, he's an ESA, technically. I'm his ESA. And I have one of those little tags on him. And it says ESA on one side, and on the other side it says Aussie 2.0. He is NFC chip upgraded, which means he won't scan with a standard RFID tag reader. He will only scan with an NFC reader, which means anybody with an NFC phone, which is pretty much everybody these days and all the new iPhones,
right,
can scan my cat and it will actually open the video of when I got him, the first day I got him. Really cute. He was 4 weeks old and he's my little guy. But the vet did it the same way they would normally do it. So basically it's in the back of his neck right where his other chip would have gone, but instead I wanted him to get a better chip. So I said, hey, Mr. Veterinarian, can you give him this one instead? It's the same size and it's just better. And they agreed to do it.
Well, you know what? It's really amazing to me that you've taken technology this far because, I was talking about on the show recently that in Switzerland, for example, that they're trying to get rid of digital currency, or they're trying to get rid of currency altogether, and people are now getting implants for, so that they can pay for things and go to bus stations and wherever else they go. What's it like for you to go through TSA?
Believe it or not, I don't have any problems going through TSA at all. Even this big magnet will not set off the walk-through detectors, and I've been wanded. And unless they're literally, like I've actually borrowed the wand from a friend when I went to see a show here in town, and I rubbed it right on my hand, and it made a tiny beep. So it kind of senses these, and when I touch this magnet, it senses it from about a centimeter away. That's about it. So it's not giving me any problems at TSA. I imagine because they're magnets, that's also part of it. In an MRI, a magnet won't do much. It just looks a little fuzzy around where the magnet is. It won't get pulled out of your body. They make you, if you have any metal, they make it so you can't have an MRI. That's actually it's not true. My friends go and get MRIs all the time, and they have like 3 or 4 implants, and they have some magnets and some microchips, and they're absolutely fine. It's just a little fuzzy on the MRI around.
Oh, wow. That's it. It's interesting because I would have thought that you couldn't get an MRI. I don't know why. I just thought that would be something
They tell you that. That's why you think that.
So you're part of a cyborg community that are known as transhumans. What exactly does that mean?
Well, transhumanism it starts under the umbrella of biohacking. Biohacking encompasses so many things, even people that drink butter in their coffee and follow that Dave Asprey guy. But then it breaks down further into transhumanist, which is somebody that sees or wants to see themselves as something more than human, to transcend being human one way or another, whether that be adding technology to your body or living forever. And a lot of us basically have the same 2 things that we want. We want technology and we want to live forever. So the next step of that is grinder. From transhumanist, there's a lot of people that just want to live forever and find ways through stem cells or any other kind of science to live forever. But if you take it down another step, you get a grinder, which is somebody who cuts their skin open and actually puts technology under their skin. So that's me. And the ultimate goal of a grinder is to become a cyborg, and that's also me now, because with 26 implants working the way they do, I kind of am transcending what a normal human can do at this point. So yeah, I could definitely call myself a transhumanist, cyborg, grinding biohacker.
And you know what? If anybody would have told you this 5 years ago that you and I'd be talking about this, what would you have said?
I would have said, yeah, right. No, I don't believe it. I mean, I used to watch William Gibson, Johnny Mnemonic, Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
So that movie inspired the heck out of me when I was growing up, but that to me is like the year 3000. It's not going to be around in my lifetime. And they had an underground surgeon who was putting implants to upgrade people. That was like the whole point of the story. And here we are, and I have an underground surgeon, and I'm getting implants to upgrade myself. So I kind of feel like I'm in the Johnny Mnemonic world.
Well, you mentioned the whole thing about the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth and the NFC. I mean, those are all pretty common technologies, right? Do you have anything that you're thinking about, like years down the road, that you could share with us?
Well, I mean, not years down the road, hopefully within the year, I'm going to be doing, I'm working with a dentist in Canada who's going to let me take out the rest of my teeth that I have in the front, and I don't have any back ones already, so I just have all my front teeth, but they're willing to remove them so that I can get dentures on implants. And when I have dentures on implants, we're going to completely gimmick the teeth. So there'll be a removable tooth that will have a USB file. It'll hold a ton of memory. There's going to be a tooth where when I push a button and I smile, I get the flashing light, just like which is totally, it's silly, but it's good for a magician. It's very good at distracting people. And then the ultimate thing is the Bluetooth piece. The company that makes this ring here, which is it's called the Ori ring, and I can put it on my finger, and it vibrates through the bone, and I can talk on the phone. So once it's connected to my phone, I can talk. But the thing is, I have a magnet in my ear that already lets me talk on the phone. So I kind of thought this was silly, and it was so much bigger than my magnet. And then I thought, I could, maybe if they could cut this in half, they could fit it in a set of teeth. So I contacted the company, and they're very happy to work with me and help me build my Bluetooth for my Cyborg dentures. So thank you.
So you just gave all new meaning to Bluetooth.
I know, right? It's totally new meaning. The craziest thing would probably be, it's hard for me to design implants. My friends are highly intelligent hackers and computer programmers, but they also have day jobs, and they're trying to take care of their kids and their families. So I also look at wearables, which I use a lot. Like this is called the Spire, and you put it right here on your chest, and it measures your breathing. It tells you when you're stressed out, and it sends you a text message and reminds you to do a breathing exercise. But in looking at this, it's smooth, it's round, it's waterproof, it charges magnetically. I think I could implant it. So we're going to look at coating it and putting it in the center of my chest. I've been waiting to retire one of the acts that I perform where I have to actually do a surgery on my chest every time I perform it. So when I retire that act, this little baby's going to go in.
Wow. Well, next time in Vegas, I'm coming to see your act.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure.
That'd be awesome.
This is a Samsung door lock. And because I have this chip program to open it, I can simulate this when I do my lectures. So when you have this white piece closed here, it beeps and it thinks the door's closed. So it automatically locks. And then I walk away from my house. And when I come back and I want to wake it up, I just touch it. And then with this chip, present it, and the lock opens.
Wow.
So I can use it for door locks. I can use it for, like you were saying, you can get on buses. You can use it for payments. This one here is actually a Bitcoin wallet. It's a specific different one called a Vivo key. Also the magnets, they can trigger reed switches. So for example, this little device here that some friends of mine build, when I touch it with my magnet, it lights up red. So when the magnet's presented, it'll light up. So this can actually be used in magic for a lot of fun things. Whereas this one's the opposite. This one actually, when I touch it with the magnet, it doesn't light up. So you can make them do different things.
Oh, wow.
Motors and all kinds of good stuff.
Boy, you know what? It puts a whole new meaning on doing magic, huh?
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And a lot of the old, like I come from this world I live in of magicians is pretty much dominated by men. Women are coming up in it. So they look at me kind of like, they're not sure what to make of me. I've been in magic for 15 years. But they're like, girl, can't you just learn how to palm a coin? Can't you just learn the card trick? And I'm saying, yeah, I can do those things. But isn't it better for me to like palm a coin like this? Wide hands? Like, where is that coin? Where am I holding it? Oh, but there it is. So, yeah, I think that my way's better.
What's the average cost of an implant?
Honestly, if you want just to start with your normal microchip, those start at around $60, depending on the things that they do. They come in all different frequencies with different possibilities. And then they can go all the way up to about $1,500 for a flat coated implant that reads from a further distance, has more programmable memory. And then you have to get someone to install it, and that's always an extra fee on top. So usually a body modification guy, if he has to scalpel something in, he'll charge you probably $400, and if it's an injectable, he'll charge $200. So it can be pretty expensive. Luckily, I get pretty much all mine done for free. So I've been able to just go crazy with it, and anytime I want them and it is too expensive, I would just put it in myself. Honestly, it's not that difficult, and lidocaine is actually quite accessible on the internet. It's supposed to be not accessible, but it's accessible.
So so many people are concerned about cell phones causing cancer, RF frequencies. Does any of that alarm you?
Honestly, it did. It did a little bit because, I used to be the kind of person who slept with their cell phone under their pillow and then thought about that and went, that's stupid, so I'm going to put it in the other room. But now I sleep with my phone again. And if you want to go back to that Johnny Mnemonic reference, they had something called the black shakes that everybody ended up getting. And it was because of all the Wi-Fi and all the technological waves going through the air. And so I don't know. I thought about that, and I'd like to just pretend it's science fiction. I mean, I always get my blood work done every few months to make sure I'm not leaching any kind of poisons from the coatings, because some of them are experimental coatings, but they have data sheets on them that I've been able to study. So I'm not making stupid decisions and just putting anything in my body. I don't just trust my surgeon. I actually read the data sheet myself and make sure it's okay. As far as getting sick from it, animals have been getting them for 30 years. They don't get cancer from the microchips. They're in bio-safe glass. And the magnet coatings, I check them with red light. They're not falling apart. We've actually cut a few out after a year. They're in really good condition. So I'm pretty confident that I'm doing fine, and I feel fine, and I'm happy.
And you look fabulous.
Thank you.
You do.
One thing I wanted to tell you about, because I didn't want to miss it, was they were trying to make getting RFID chips illegal in Nevada. Probably about 3 or 4 months ago, there was a senator named Skip Daly who had introduced Bill 226. And this bill was basically stating that anybody who gets a microchip, whether it be voluntary or not, is going to face a fine. I think it was $10,000 and 5 days in jail for every day that you have this microchip. And considering I already have 16 of those and a bunch of magnets, I thought that would be a problem for me. And so I had to get up really early and go speak in front of the Senate. And I really won over a senator named Melanie Scheibel, and she invited me to the Capitol so that I could do like a whole cyborg presentation for everybody in the building. And we did that all day long with the Transhumanist Party. Yeah, we won. And the people that think that we're getting tracked by satellites did not, because that is not possible with these chips. They're passive. I'm sure you understand how they work. This is a big nail, right? And the reason I started biohacking, honestly, is because why keep putting things in my body and taking them out? Like, that's just for performance. Why don't I put things in my body, leave them in there, and then find cool ways to use them in my act? So this is one of the things that I used to do.
It looks like it hurts.
It actually doesn't.
Ooh.
Yeah, so once you know how your body works and
I couldn't do that.
I could teach you how to do it. I taught my daughter how to do this when she was 7. And then I got in trouble by her school.
That was a bad parenting moment right there.
That was a bad parenting moment, yeah.
We all have them.
Yeah, that's a bad choice.
Anastasia, thank you so much for taking the time to share your unique cyborg experience with me today. It'll be interesting to see how the biohacking movement continues to evolve. Hey, thanks for watching. Now, a few things. Don't forget to click the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for more digital know-how, check out all these other great links.